Well, after the success of our first episode of Dynamite, today we bring back Ring of Honor TV, the 526th episode of Ring of Honor TV, where we take on this new era of Ring of Honor with Jericho as the champion. What does Ring of Honor look like with a sports entertainer as the best wrestler in the world? Let's find out. And we start with said sports entertainer, Chris Jericho. Yeah, for 200 people in the Voltage Lounge. We're using very small arenas for Ring of Honor because we want it to have that intimate atmosphere which old NXT had. And eventually we'll grow it. But right now we are starting very small. And Jericho and Garcia come out to the ring, and Jericho asks the crowd to thank him. Thank me, crowd. Because Jericho is the reason that Ring of Honor's back. This wouldn't have happened under Claudio. This wouldn't have happened under Gresham. In fact, Bandito, he was the champion which caused Ring of Honor's decline. There is nobody that could have saved Ring of Honor except for Jericho. So thank him. And anybody who bears resemblance to those old, poor days of Ring of Honor does not belong in Jericho's new empire. So watch your back, because you don't stand on Jericho's soil. It's a 60 promo. This product doesn't reward promos as much as some of the others do, but it fits more with the Ring of Honor style. We may change the product to match AEW's, which makes sense, this being a developmental process, but it's exciting to see what happens. We then get Christopher Daniels coming out. He is excited. He was in the main event of the very first Ring of Honor show, and now he is back. And he is here as the commissioner of Ring of Honor. He is the guy who has been given the power. Tony Khan has given him the power to run Ring of Honor as he sees fit. And as such, for our November pay-per-view, we will be bringing back the Survival of the Fittest tournament. Every single match will be 2 out of 3 falls. You've got to beat your opponent twice to get through each round. We will have our first quarterfinal match today. Then each week we will have one quarterfinal match, and then at the pay-per-view we will have both semi-finals and the final. This really will be the survival of the fittest, because you will need to put every single ounce of your energy into surviving this tournament. And the winner will get a championship match of their choosing at Final Battle to end the year off. There's a lot of stakes in this tournament. Later in the year, we will have the Hot Prospects tournament, where we will look at some of our younger talent during the start of 2023. But this is Ring of Honor. This is the future of professional wrestling. 55 promo from Daniels. As I said, he is a great link to have to the olden days, to the original Ring of Honor, being such a legend of it. A former world champion himself, so he may even get involved in Jericho's story. I haven't decided yet, but a 55 rating, great stuff. And our first match in the Ring of Honor era introduces our commentary team, Ian Riccoboni and Caprice Coleman, because of course it is. They work great together. And the Gates of Agony defeat the Workhorsemen in 21-15 when Toa Lione pins Anthony Henry with the Samoan Spike. I'm definitely going to change the product, because this match should not be going 20 minutes. I'll probably change it to a 3-ring circus or something. But Henry and Drake have great chemistry together, which they do outperform the Gates of Agony. I do think there is more potential in the Gates of Agony. Like Bishop Khan, has such great presence, which isn't something you can teach in wrestling. And the fact that Bishop Khan has that presence already, I do think he has got massive future in this developmental system and up on AEW. Although he does nearly injure Anthony Henry in this match with a botch, so you win some, you lose some, eh? Next up, we've got the Factory of Anthony Ogogo, Aaron Solo, and Cole Carter. They're challenging Dalton Castle and the Boys for a 6-man tag team title match next week. So basically, it's almost a blend between old Ring of Honor and the new developmental program. The Factory have always been almost considered a developmental project. They're the people who graduated QT Marshall's Nightmare Factory. So that does make sense. And I do think there is potential. Like Anthony Ogogo has done some great work in Progress recently, which hilariously being on the WWE Network. Aaron Solo does have great potential, and I think Cole Carter's a bit of a wildcat. I mean, I don't know with Cole Carter. He's just a third at this point. I don't know whether he's going to be a big part of things, or at this point he is just backup for Ogogo and Solo. He gets a 62 though, so this is actually our best promo of the night. Dalton Castle puts on a better promo than Jericho and Daniels. 62 rating. Next match, 8-man tag, which introduces some new people as the Trustbusters. Parker Boudreaux, Sonny Kiss, Slim J, and Ari Daivari take on the Iron Savages, Blake Christian, and the debuting Alexander Hammerstone. And it's Hammerstone that picks up the win here with the Stonebreaker on Slim J. Slim J obviously is our fall guy for the Trustbusters. I do think the Trustbusters do have more chance of getting a push down here in Ring of Honor than they probably ever will in AEW. Not that I'm saying they're not good, but I just don't think the ceiling is massively high for any of them. I think they all have quite a low ceiling. Whereas I think someone like Alexander Hammerstone, Blake Christian, and the Iron Savages, I do think they have a slightly higher ceiling. So I am going to rather put them over than the Trustbusters. And that's what we've done here. Hammerstone gets the 50, the highest of the match, which is good stuff. 43 overall. And Parker Boudreaux broke his nose. Did anyone do it? No. We get a little promo segment here, vignette almost, of Richard Holiday introducing himself. Because yes, we basically just raided MLW. Which I think is fair. We're bigger than MLW. We raid them. And Richard Holiday introduces himself. Just because for him living a lavish lifestyle, he's going to be joining Ring of Honor in this new incarnation. Women's division match as Abaddon squashes Miranda Alize in 5 minutes 18. It is a squash match because we're trying to put Abaddon over as this freak of nature. Even though she's not great in the ring, we are going to try and cover that by keeping her in short matches and pushing her so her popularity does balance it out. A 21 though is pretty strong for what I was expecting this to be much lower. Miranda Alize actually surprised me with her performance. I just need Abaddon to get above unimportant so that we can actually just bring in local talent and to job to her so she can look stronger. As of right now, she's beating talent like Miranda Alize, who I think is a capable worker. I don't know where I envision her in the future of Ring of Honor and AEW, but that's all part of the stuff we've got to work out. And a tag team match sees the Briscoes draw with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt following a double disqualification after Jericho attacks Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal. Both the Jays. And look at that. Jay Briscoe gets a 71, so that's a great start. But the crowd obviously don't like the ending. They like respectful wrestling. They don't like DQs. That's part of Jericho's ordeal. Again, though, another reason why we might change the product before the next episode, which I can do, as it's a child company. I can change it instantly, and I don't even need to wait 9 months. But a 45 rating isn't what we wanted, but the ending really has soured it. There probably will be a rematch for this, with a stipulation or something to avoid Jericho getting involved. But, as of right now, it's a draw. Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal both gonna have a bone to pick with Jericho, though, so one of them may end up wanting to challenge Jericho for the Ring of Honor World title. Well, they're both former champions. We've got our first Survival of the Fittest match, though, to main event, as Dante Martin and Brian Cage will go 1-on-1. And it gets a 44 rating. Goes Dante Martin wins the first, Brian Cage wins the second, and Dante Martin wins the third with a springboard cutter. To advance in the Survival of the Fittest tournament, he is going to the pay-per-view. Gets a 44 rating because of a lack of flow, but a 56 from Martin and a 50 from Cage is great ratings from each individual guy. I am looking forward to the rest of this tournament continuing. What did we get overall? It's a 48 rating, which increases our pop in 53 regions. Because of having an internet provider with the Honor Club, anyone really from anywhere in the world can get it. It's just a very small reach. So I'm excited to see the growth of Ring of Honor. Hopefully we'll be in front of more than 200 people soon. So let's see, what did the viewers do? And, well, feedback from the fans has been excellent, which is always good for a company our size. And viewership-wise, 36,000. So we are very low in the viewership. We haven't got an actual TV deal yet, which is going to be something we're going to be looking into, getting an actual broadcasting deal. But 36,000, almost 37. So we'll just claim 41 people actually watched it. And unfortunately, Parker Boudreaux is injured, so how long is he going to be out for? He's not. He's going to be cleared in time for next week. Well, that's good news, so I will see you guys in the next episode.